Mr. Reagan.
Thank you, Chairman Murkowski, Ranking Member Cantwell, and members of the committee for the opportunity to appear before you today to discuss the maintenance and operational needs of the National Park Service. My name is Sean Regan, and I'm a research fellow at PERC, the Property and Environment Research Center, a nonprofit research institute in Bozeman, Montana, where I study public land policy. The topic of this hearing is directly related to my research at PERC, but it is also of immense importance to me personally. For 4 years, I worked as a backcountry ranger in Olympic National Park in Washington State, where I helped maintain trails, patrol wilderness areas, and assist park visitors. During my time in the Park Service, I witnessed firsthand the maintenance and operational challenges the agency faces, from the dilapidated infrastructure and visitor facilities to the funding shortfalls that often hinder the ability of local managers to carry out the agency's mission. And perhaps most importantly, as a Montanan who is a frequent visitor of parks such as Yellowstone and Glacier, I thank the committee for taking up this important issue. As you know, the Park Service recently celebrated its 100-year anniversary, but as the agency embarks on its second century, decades of neglect have left a glaring blemish on a park system known for its crown jewels. Today, the agency faces an $11.6 billion maintenance backlog, an amount that is 5 times higher than its latest budget from Congress. The effects of this backlog can be seen throughout the park system, including a leaky wastewater system in Yosemite that has at times spilled sewage into the park streams, a failing water pipeline in the Grand Canyon that often leaves visitors without potable water, and campgrounds and lodges in the Everglades that have been left in disrepair for more than a decade. The important efforts of this committee notwithstanding, Congress has not secured adequate funding for park maintenance through budgetary appropriations, regardless of the political party in power. A recent report published by PERC found that Congress appropriated about $520 million each year on average to deferred maintenance between 2004 and 2014, but the Park Service estimates it would need to spend at least $700 million each year on deferred maintenance just to keep the backlog from growing. And yet, while appropriations for maintenance fall short, Congress continues to create new parks and expand existing ones. Since 2000, 35 new park units have been added to the national park system, but they have not come with corresponding increases in appropriations. With more parks but no additional funding, the Park Service has been stretched thin, and as a result, the backlog has shown no signs of declining. As a former park ranger, I know that no one understands the maintenance and operational needs of parks better than the local park managers themselves. In recent years, Congress has allowed park managers to charge and retain user fees from visitors and reinvest those revenues in projects that enhance the visitor experience. These revenues are important because they allow park managers to address critical needs, including deferred maintenance, without relying entirely on congressional appropriations. They also connect visitors with the long-term sustainability of our parks and encourage local managers to be responsive and accountable to visitors. Yet since the recreation fee program was established in 2004, the National Park Service has imposed various internal restrictions on fee expenditures by local park managers, including costly approval processes and requirements that funds be spent on specific purposes determined by officials in Washington rather than local managers on the ground. As one example, park managers are generally prohibited from spending fee revenues on recurring or cyclic maintenance and operational needs. That means fee revenues cannot be used for regular upkeep of visitor facilities, to ditch roads to prevent costly long-term damage, or to support permanent employees to conduct or oversee routine maintenance. These and other restrictions undermine the effectiveness of the park's fee program and contribute to the overall maintenance backlog problem. Conservation at its core is about preserving and maintaining what you already own. Congress and the Interior Department are right to explore various ways to reduce the deferred maintenance backlog, but an even more fundamental challenge remains, and that is to prioritize the routine or cyclic maintenance that is necessary to prevent projects from becoming deferred in the first place. My written testimony provides further details on how Congress and the Park Service can address the backlog problem by focusing on the needs of existing parks before considering additional expansions to the park system, by providing more decision-making authority to local park managers, something that Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke has outlined as a priority, and by investing in the routine maintenance that is necessary to prevent future increases in the deferred maintenance backlog. I hope that the ideas I describe will be helpful as the committee explores ways to tackle this important problem. Thank you again for the opportunity to present my views on this subject, and I look forward to answering any questions you might have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Reagan.